Alright, my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I'm going to try something a little bit different when it comes to the PC space. Now, I've kind of given myself a little bit of an outline today, so if you see me looking over at my phone, it's just because I'm trying to stay on track when I talk about these issues and stuff. I even got me a little bit of bottle of water because I'm starting to lose my voice because this is the fourth video that I've made tonight, so please forgive me while I try this. So you probably read the title of this, why I don't like Nvidia and why it almost ruined my gaming or my PC experience. So I want to go ahead and get into that for a minute and talk about that. So when I got into Nvidia, obviously it was the 30 series. That's where I started with the PC gaming and stuff. I did all of that, normally, just for the channel, to be completely honest with you. I made some stupid mishaps. Obviously, those are my fault. Buying laptops, that was obviously not a very good judgment call on my part. But when I got over to the desktop, I started with the 3060 Ti. I was already kind of struggling with games right out the bat on that. I mean, like playing games like Spider-Man and just other games. Just already having problems. And, here's the funny thing, though. When the 30 series came out, all of the older games clearly were running just fine on that. I got into it a little bit late. I was about a year. There had already been a year past, since the 30 series started. So I was, kind of playing a little bit of catch up. I was able to get in there and play some of them older games, and I was like, yeah, this is kind of cool, but I never really felt like the experience was way better than what we had already had on like the Xbox Series X and the PS5. Obviously, I started this channel with those two consoles and with that, as the main goal for the channel. And then I got into the whole PC thing, and started, playing around with it and trying to figure that out. So when I first started the PC, I had basically, like a 3060 Ti. That's where I'm going to go from that with is with the 3060 Ti. And when I was looking at that and I'm playing on that, and I'm also, not ready to leave the consoles. I'm in my comfort zone, and like I feel comfortable with the consoles. They're really convenient. All of that stuff, everything's usually optimized for the consoles pretty well. You don't really have a whole lot of choices to make, but we were starting to get choices, like a performance mode or a quality mode. And it was just starting to get to a point where we're like, yeah, okay, PC doesn't seem so bad. So I started playing around with it. But we were at a point where, the 3060 Ti was really good at playing them, like cross-generation games. We were talking about like the cross-generation games, and they were doing pretty good with that. And then so a little fast forward a little bit, and then we started getting like games like Plague Tale Requiem. And right out of the gate for that card, it was saying like I needed a 3070 or 3070 Ti or something a little bit faster than what I already had. So I was like, all right, man, I'm just gonna go buy a 3080. I'm already struggling on Spider-Man to run this game. So I got that 3080 10 gig. Yeah, and this is where Nvidia literally almost ruined my PC experience for me, because right after I got that card, new games were coming out, and that card was already struggling with those new games. And we're talking 1440p. We're talking 1440p. I was starting to get games. They were starting to run out of VRAM. It was starting to be it was pretty much a stuttery mess all the way through. And some of that is user inflicted too. I bought some, a couple more sticks of memory. I had some mismatched memory in there. The only thing that was mismatched was the brand. Everything else was exactly the same. It had the same timings. It had all of that stuff. So to this day, I don't know if that was actually what was causing my problem on the pre-built. I think I don't think that was causing my problem when I still had the pre-built, because I'd put those in there. Everything was already set to the regular timings of the original RAM that was already in there. I mean, if you do research, you can figure that out, and it'll tell you all that. But when I built this PC and put all that in there, that's when I noticed like some things were up. So I got rid of that RAM. I bought 2 new sticks of RAM. So that completely erased that whole problem right there. But I know there's people in the comment section that are going to be like, yeah, you did this to yourself. You're right. PC's confusing. And that's another reason why Nvidia, and that kind of stuff, it just got to a point where I was like, gosh dang, man, if this is the best that PC can do, I'm perfectly fine playing on my consoles on a 1440p monitor, because my PS5 and my Series X, they look incredible on a 1440p monitor. So I wasn't really struggling with like the whole gaming experience overall. It was just me not feeling like the PC experience was everything that everybody was talking about. So that leads us into the second thing. No, I want to talk a little bit about like the whole comfort zone and intimidating factor of getting a PC and stuff. Because when you're a console gamer, everything's pretty much done for you. Like there's no guesswork. You buy a game, it's either a good game or it's a bad game. It either runs good or it doesn't run good. There's like there's no fixing it. There's no tweaking anything. There's nothing. That's the experience, and you're used to that. You don't have to worry about doing any of the other kind of things, like anything to do with Windows or anything else. You have your PlayStation operating system. You have your Xbox operating system. They're easy to find your way through. You get in there, you play around with them, do all of that stuff. And it's like, okay, yeah, you get that. But I want to stress that having a PC is pretty much the same as having that. It's just a much bigger operating system, and you can do a lot more stuff with a PC than you can do on a console, but you don't necessarily have to do any of that stuff. All you need to do is get in there, find Steam or find the Xbox app or Epic Games Store or whatever, and you can buy, download, and play your video games without having to do anything else on your PC, period. So, like, I get, like, the whole, under, like the, what did I have under here? Comfort zone and intimidation factor. Like, I get that. And it can be a little bit intimidating, especially with an Nvidia GPU. When you try to find like a setting or something, it can be a little bit more of a hassle, because you don't really know what to look for when you're first coming to PC. So you don't know what any of these settings do. So you're going to spend a lot more time trying to figure out things. Well, actually, in most cases, you're not even going to know what to even look for. So you're just going to get that out-of-box experience with an Nvidia GPU until you find a snag or something that you need to problem solve, and then you're going to be watching a bunch of YouTube videos to figure out how to do that. And that sucks. That sucks, man. I wish that the Nvidia experience would have been a lot better. And now that I've tried something different, like, I know that there is better out there, but finding that and just getting that information, because nobody talks about any of this. They tell you about like and this is, we're moving into the next thing with this, which is overhype. Overhype on the Nvidia brand is extreme. It's very extreme. You get all hyped about ray tracing and DLSS and just the PC experience being better and blah blah blah, and that overhype is going to ultimately lead you to feeling like, gosh, this if this is the best it can do, I might as well just go back to console. And that's, like, this is a whole thing that like was happening the whole time with Nvidia. I was just feeling like, man, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm not supposed to be a PC gamer, because that overhype created my unrealistic expectations for the PC space, which it's like a vicious circle, man. Like, you get hyped, you buy it, you're underwhelmed, you're not getting enough, or you're getting something really good on one thing, but you're not getting that same experience in another thing. And that was pretty much the overall Nvidia experience for me. It never really subsided. It never really went away. It was just, oh man, by Unrealistic Expectations, brought on because of the overhype, and there's a lot of it. There's a lot of good marketing for Nvidia. There's a lot of overzealous promoters out there that are like, yeah, Nvidia, you should buy this because DLSS is better, or this or that, or there's just so much of it out there, and you don't know where to go because anybody you ask, if you get on Reddit or something and you ask, well, what about AMD? Then they shut you down immediately. They're like, no, man, don't even worry about that. It's got buggy drivers and it's broken and blah, blah, blah. Just a whole bunch of nonsense that makes you feel like, okay, Nvidia. And that's what you're thinking. If you're even remotely looking for any kind of information about PC, you are 100% led straight to Nvidia. And don't tell me you're not, because you are. You are. If you get on there and be like, okay, what's the best kind of PC to get for gaming? I guarantee you 99% of it's going to be Nvidia. And so you're already inundated with all that Nvidia stuff, and you're overhyped, and you're feeling like, yeah, dude, this is going to be great. I'm going to get 4K. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get all this. I'm going to get ray tracing. And then you're going to be like, oh, but my budget. And you're going to be like, oh, whatever. Everybody still says to get this card because of the ray tracing and everything. So you automatically feel like, yes, this is the one for me. I'm going to get everything. I'm going to be like everybody else, and I'm going to have the best. And boom. And so you don't even think anymore. You just make those subconscious decisions to go with that brand because everybody else says it's the best. And then, so you don't question it. And then you get it, and then you're just like, oh gosh, okay, well, this doesn't work the way I thought it was going to work. And then everybody's like, oh man, no, you shouldn't have got that. You should have got this one, or you should have went here. No, you should have went to the highest part if you want everything. And so you're just consistently pounded with the goalposts being moved. And that sucks. That absolutely sucks. When you're trying to get into PC gaming and you're trying to, open your mind and open up, like you're already coming out of your comfort zone from your consoles. You're already at a point where, like, man, this is a big new world. This is a great big new world that's like, whoa, at your fingertips, and there's really nobody there to help you except for to hype you. There's no help. There's plenty of hype, but there's never any help. There's never any real help. And when you get on Reddit or when you get on things, man, it sucks. I know a lot of these people have the best intentions. I do. I know they have the best intentions, but most of it is going to either lead you to because you're gonna have fear too. You're gonna have to deal with fear in between there of somebody telling you, yeah, download this, and then you download some stuff, and then you get a whole bunch of stupid pop-ups like, oh yeah, run this scam now, or run this, and it's annoying. It's annoying. That's why I don't download anything anybody tells me to do. I don't download mods or anything like that because I'm not trying to put myself in a position to where I've got to like redo my whole PC just because I listened to somebody and downloaded something and they were... Because I believe that most people on the PC platform are good, but there are those people out there that are going out of their way to try to mess you up. There are. It's just the way... It's just the world we live in now. But after the Unrealistic Expectations and kind of giving you the backspace of like what was going on with the Nvidia thing, I want to talk about like the three core pillars of why I don't like the Nvidia experience and why it almost ruined my PC experience right out of the gate. So the first one of those core pillars is going to be software experience. Now, for anybody coming to PC, this is going to be a big thing. Your software experience, Adrenaline software, control panel. If you buy a pre-built, you're going to have like your HP bloatware. If you buy any of the other ones, you're going to have bloatware. So you're going to have to figure out, like you're going to find something. So with the AMD experience, with the Nvidia Experience, the control panel, that thing looks archaic. And there's nothing to tell you what to do in there. You can look at a phrase and then look it up on the internet, and it's stupid. Like, it's so outdated, it's not even funny. Like, it is the most irritating experience that I've ever had with like PC gaming in my life. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this sucks. So when you buy that and your user experience is you watching YouTube videos or researching freaking settings just to figure out what's going on your PC, that's kind of a pain in the butt. And when you contrast that, over to the AMD Experience, you open the AMD Adrenalin software, you hit the HyperRX button, and that will pretty much optimize everything for you. But if you really want to see what other settings do, you can you can hover over the little question mark thing, and it'll tell you what's going on right there in the software. And so you can get in there and you can mix and match things and you can figure things out way quicker. So in my opinion, yes, user experience for PC gaming is freaking huge. And AMD wins that by a freaking mile. Easy for me. Sorry. I mean, like, it is what it is. Game stability. Game stability is a big one. Very big one for me. And on the Nvidia Experience, because Nvidia, the way they design their products to get you almost there, but never enough, you are going to run into more overall game stability issues. You're either not going to have enough VRAM, or you're going to be like bottlenecked because the because the card is, more powerful, but you don't got the freaking resources to run it. And that happens a lot too. Like at 1440p or 1080p, you're getting bottlenecked all the time. You don't got enough grunt or whatever, in your CPU or something. Like your game stability on Nvidia, because it costs more to buy an Nvidia card, you're wasting money for a name that you could have put into a CPU or better memory or something else, or a higher power or a higher PSU or something like that. There's always something that seems to go wrong with the Nvidia Experience. And I mean, like, think about it right now with the 4090. Obviously the most powerful card that you can get, but you're getting bottlenecked at 4K. You're getting bottlenecked at 4K. So therefore, that is limiting and pretty much messing with your experience. Like you're not getting the optimal experience because there's just too much and not enough CPU to boost it. So yeah, like, why buy a 4090 at this point right now when there's literally only 5 games that are going to be able to make use of that extra power? Everything else is going to be bottlenecked. Like, you try to play Suicide Squad, you're running at what, 50% GPU utilization at 4K with max settings, with ray tracing, with everything. You're not getting the best experience that you could get that way, when you could have just bought like a 4080 or something and had a better experience with that. So yeah, I would say game stability is pretty important when it comes to the overall PC experience. And I feel like that has a lot to do with just the way the Nvidia cards are designed. I feel like they're designed for obsolescence. And yeah, that's been my case. And that brings me to the last thing for the 3 core pillars is the longevity. The longevity of the Nvidia Experience for me is like, gosh dang, man, 10 gigabytes was what they put on their 4K card. The 3080 was a 4K card. For the next generation, for their 1440p cards, they put 12 gigabytes and 16 gigabytes. So now, with the next generation card of a 1440p with the 4070 that I bought, we're already running into games that are having VRAM issues when you try to use ray tracing and all of the settings. You're already running into issues, so therefore you cannot use the max settings with that card, which is stupid. And AMD's 7700 XT, same thing. I feel the exact same way about that card as I do a 4070. I will not buy a 12 gigabyte GPU because I don't think the longevity is there, and I don't think that a 1440p card should ever be sold with a 1080p VRAM budget. 12 gigabytes is probably okay for 1080p, but I do kind of feel like we're going to start seeing things move closer to the 16 gigabytes for entry level cards, hopefully going forward, because that's pretty much what you need. And even like 1440p cards should probably still be okay with the 16 gigs of VRAM, because like the overall texture sizes aren't too much bigger. But it would be nice to see 16 gigabytes become the new normal, because according to AMD, it's only $60. It's only a $60 difference to go from 8 to 16. So yeah, there should be no questions about a 16 gigabyte buffer going forward as the low end for a GPU. Because longevity, man, like, you do want longevity. You do. You go out there and you spend all that money on a GPU, you want it to be able to play at least the games of the console generation. You know what I mean? Like, you want to be able to at least have above console settings throughout the generation. That's what you bought a PC for. That's the whole reason you got into PC gaming, is so that you could enjoy the games the way they're meant to be enjoyed. And that does kind of suck a little bit. But for the last thing, these are the things that I would like for Nvidia to improve before I would buy another GPU from Nvidia. I want a better user experience, Nvidia. I want you guys to get in there and get rid of that stupid control panel and build a freaking software UI that we can get in there and utilize these incredible features that the Nvidia cards have. Everybody tells me about, but I still couldn't ever seem to find them. I want to be able to fully utilize my Nvidia products, so I need that fixed. The second thing I want you to fix, Nvidia, is stop being so stingy with VRAM. Make a card that's going to last. You know, and to me it feels like with the Nvidia Experience is like, they're like, oh, we just got to get them one time. We just got to get them one time, and then boom, we got them. We made our money on that. We don't care after that. And that's what it feels like. And then you've got all the hypers out there and everybody else. They will try to keep you perpetually engaged with Nvidia, telling you like, oh yeah, this is best. And because the hype train for Nvidia doesn't die, dude. It doesn't end. It's so loud and it's so in your face that, like, once you get into the Nvidia Experience, like you're gonna instantly have like, oh my gosh, like you're gonna be like, okay, should I get this card? And then you're gonna instantly be like, oh, I don't know. Why should you feel that way? Seriously, why should you feel that way? Why can't you, as an Nvidia customer that loves Nvidia, go right into Best Buy and be like, I know exactly which card I want to buy. This is the card I want to buy because this is the experience I have with that card. This is the card I want to buy. This is the next move forward. How come it's not that simple? Explain that to me. Why isn't it that simple to just be like, okay, yeah, this is going to be a natural progression? I don't get it. Maybe AMD is the same way. We'll find out next generation when I buy another AMD card. But my gosh, man, for me and for everybody I see on Reddit, that is hilarious, man. Like, nobody knows what freaking GPU from Nvidia to buy. They don't. They have so much anxiety. It's not even funny. They're like, oh my gosh, should I get the 4070? Should I get the 4070 Ti? Oh gosh, should I get the 4080 because it has 6? It's so bad. Like, Nvidia needs to fix that, but they won't. They won't. That confusion leads them to the freaking hype train. The confusion leads them to the hype train and having to listen to people. Like, it shouldn't be that hard to make a decision to buy an Nvidia GPU. It shouldn't be that hard. It's incredible how hard it can be. So I'm not against Nvidia. There's some things, obviously those couple of things that I wish they would fix. I would like, I would like a good VRAM budget for whatever card I'm buying. And I would like a better user experience. That's pretty simple, I think. That's the criteria that I want before going out of my way to try another Nvidia product. So if the 50 series launches and it hasn't changed or moved away from the control panel, I might be very, 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 very hesitant to even consider buying one if it's still running on the control panel. I want that thing gone, buried, take it back to 1998 where it belongs. And I want something more forward thinking. I want to be able to utilize the tech that I'm buying like I can with AMD. So as it sits right now, yeah, I love AMD. They might not be the most powerful out there, but dang, these things hold their own, my friends. They hold their own, man. I'm playing around with the 7600 XT, the 7800 XT, and the 7900 XT for the rest of this generation, and it's going to be amazing. Like, I'm really digging it. So if you guys like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, my friends. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.